Alrighty guys, I feel bad I kind of already started on this and forgot to make you a video on it. This is the case half that I started on the other day, and it's got blisters. This could all be cleaned up. It's still a good case half. It's just once I realized I had to use this case half for the other side or whatever, as I was digging, I found a way better case half than the other half. So I already put a new highway seal in it, and this is a new to this case bearing. Here how nice and smooth that is. These set of bearings are OEM, and they come out of a saw that I don't think had 12 hours on it before it got crushed very, very badly, and I salvaged the bearings out of it quite a few years ago, and I've had them sitting around forever, and it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and use them. This is a perfect candidate for this, because here's the bearing I pressed. I did put a little mar right there, but it won't hurt nothing. Hear how noisy that bearing is, and it's got play in it. That's the bearing out of this case half, and hear how you can't even hear that one. Hear how nice and sweet that one sounds. And you can hear how growly this one is, and it's been thoroughly cleaned. That bearing is I even dropped the dab of oil in here trying to see how this bearing would feel, and this one probably had a squeal or squall or chatter. I have this bearing, silky smooth, that's another OEM one. And here's the crankshaft I decided to go with. I cleaned it all up. You can see where it was nudged over a little too far on this side, but that won't hurt nothing. But this is an 046 crankshaft I'm going to stuff in it. It'll be alright. It's quiet, super duper tight. I can't remember what the deal was with the saw that I took this out of, but I'm going to, it's snowing out, I'm going to put this thing in a paper towel, and I'm going to set it outside my porch so it can start getting cold. And I'm going to pause you guys, and I'm going to get set up, and I'm going to show you how I press that bearing out, and we'll put a new one in, and then we will get around to getting these cases together on this 046. So just a minute. Alrighty guys, got you set up over here. Now I'm going to do a cold press. I'm taking it out, cold press on putting it in. You can use the heat method too. Like there's so many different ways to do this, and I'm not saying how I do them's right. It's just I've done them all different kinds of ways. But you could heat that up with a heat gun on the outside of it real fast, or a MAC gas torch, and knock the bearing out. And then you can heat the case and freeze the bearing and slip them in. I've done it that way too. But I'm just going to do a cold press on this. I don't know, typically I'd be jamming out to some music or something. And when you're using a press, like I got a socket here, it fits nicely all the way around there. So we're going to roll with that. This one's a straight through push. Make sure you're not on nothing critical. Kind of somewhat center it up. But I guess I take this stuff for granted. I've just, when you've split hundreds of cases, and I've split a ton of cases in the repair industry. It's just gentle pressure. You shouldn't have to work it hard at all to get it out of there, but I guess when you split as many cases as I have, you just take it for granted, and you forget to think about the people that's never done that. But see, did not harm anything. Here's that noisy bearing, and set that in there. And we're going to do the same thing, except for me use a different socket. I'm going to set this here. I didn't grab the bearing, so let me pause you. I'll be right back. It took me a little bit to find it. I sat the bearing down. I got it in my hand. What I'm going to do is just put a little dab of 2-stroke oil around in there. Just don't want that falling off there. Get the grit off my hand. I'm going to put a dab. Lube around here. Make sure the bottom of your press is clean. I just knock some crud down in there. So there's that. And then this is just one of them Harbor Freight. Just use the press itself. I think people have got tools and stuff where you can pull these in too. And I am not straight. It's absolutely crucial that you're straight. Now this one's got a couple marks right here where I got the crankshaft out of it, but bearing still turns all nice and free. Double kind of checking the case over. Looks like I got a sliver. So I've never ran this saw that this case half come off from. Really don't want to find an issue out later on. But there's the bearing put in. I'm going to pause you guys and get you set back up over there. Alright, I think I got you set up over here. Now, I got looking at this case half, it was missing a pin, so I had to pull one out of the old case. And ooh, that's where that goes. What to do with my little wapper-dapper. Alrighty. So I think now we're ready to put this case together. I'm going to move some part of this. And grab the crankshaft. Grab the oil. We already got the seal pre-lubed up on this one, so we'll get the heat going. Kind of want to heat the whole case, otherwise it'll zap the heat right out of your bearing. And this was plastic nylon caged bearing, so you can't get real crazy with it. Normally I have my rubber mallet out here to assist me if need be, but I don't know what I did with it. If it was the metal cage bearings, you could get real aggressive with it, but you kind of got to build these up and pay close attention to what you're doing. And she did not want to go. So, just a second. I got to nudge that in over at the press. Well, I guess I didn't need to. By the time I got over to the press, all I did was jiggle it and then it dropped right in. The case is still pretty warm. But, when that happens, you can, while everything's still warm and that crank's cold, you can nudge it over with the press real easy. But luckily I didn't have to. So I must have just not had it square on there. That sometimes happens. So let's on to the next step. Guess I'll fold these inside out so we got a fresh. So the next step is you can use this stuff, or like what I used to do, just take some 2-stroke lube. This is a brand gasket. Unfortunately, I don't remember the brand of it. It's just something I found in my drawer from some project, somewhere. Got a bad habit. Sometimes I'll buy a whole gasket kit just for one gasket, just so I have spares sitting around for occasions like this. And now this will be a little taller up top there, but it's not that big a deal. After the case is together, you can trim it off with a razor blade. And let's see here. This one's a plastic cage bearing too. So this will probably hang up on us, but it's not that big a deal. Since I have to handle this case, I won't get it as hot as that other one. See how that doesn't want to go. Hopefully the bolts will be long enough. Maybe. Maybe not. Gasket's trying to buckle on me. What is going on here? Why is that gasket trying to buckle? We don't need it buckling. Push that down any farther. Trying to line up that gasket. Okay, it does not want to line up, so we'll go just like this. Just take things nice and slow. It's not that big a deal to inch it over. And just go just like this. I don't think my crank was quite cold enough, but I just use German specs on these, good and tight. One thing I did notice with this case half here is the bolt hole for the felling dog is all messed up. That's okay, we can fix that later. That is not a deal breaker. I can build an insert or something. Maybe I'll show you guys how to build one of them too. I don't know. It's actually went together pretty smoothly. Alright, now see how the crank's kind of somewhat tight. What did I do? Find the whapper. Clean the whapper off. I can already see the crank's got to get nudged that away, so Right there we go.